What does freedom mean to you? Does it mean the freedom to choose? The freedom to have a family and raise your kids according to your own values? What about living a wild, adventurous life, experimenting with music, relationships, or art? What does freedom really mean? What if freedom meant something that only a few Americans still understood? What if it meant that your choices and your values were set by you, rather than by some politician in a far-off capital? Some people think we're only free to choose to live exactly how they live, by their moral code, or their narrow worldviews. But if liberty means anything, it means that you, and you alone, have the power to exercise your rights to which the laws of nature and nature's God granted you. It's time to put these principles back into action. It's time to restore the American dream, activate in our communities, and take our country back. It's time to wake up, America. Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com. We've got a great show for you today. It's Family Friday, so you can welcome the lovely Stephanie Petersen in studio. Good morning, Stephanie.
Happy almost New Year's.
Happy almost New Year's. Glad to have you here.
Our dogs are getting excited.
Yeah, they are. They're excited to hear us talking. That's great. Well, why are the dogs out and running around is a good question I ask.
I don't know. We'll have to put them away during the commercial break.
I guess we will. You boys wait there and don't come in. Calvin, no.
This is what happens when you work from home.
It is. Yes, you have these kinds of complications.
There are no sick days when you work from home either.
Exactly. Even though we are both sick. Good morning, Tyler Nelson. Good morning, Matt Unruh. Good morning, Ann Henry. Good morning, Andy Opperman, Quest Fanning. Nice to see you all here this morning. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. We're glad to have you here today. First up on the program, Kanye West reportedly missing his former business manager, seeking to serve him with a lawsuit. Well, no wonder he's missing. We'll talk about that at the top of the show. Andrew Tate arrested. We'll give you a brief little update before we get into the full report this morning. A new guest will be joining us at 8:30 today, Daniella Pentsak. At 8:30, we'll break down the Andrew... Yes, we will have a new guest joining us today at 8:30 a.m. to talk about the Andrew Tate arrest in Romania following allegations of human trafficking. That'll be at 8:30 today, and we'll have Daniella Pentsak. And the best of 2022. Talk about the best of 22, the biggest news stories of 2022. Steffi and I will talk about our year in 2022, and we'll be happy to have you join us this morning to discuss that, starting at 8 a.m. Glad to have you here. Quest Fanning is trying to remind us to hydrate, Stephanie.
Hydrate. I have the water here. Yes. Yeah, I was feeling really hot this morning, and all of a sudden my Fitbit was like congratulating me for getting, exercise points. And I was like, what's going on? And my heart rate was up to 144 when I was just standing. So I don't know what's going on. If I keel over from a heart attack, you'll know why.
I guess so. All right. Well, let's start with the biggest news of the day so far. I guess maybe the second biggest news, Kanye West. Rumors are swirling that Kanye West has been missing for days or even weeks. Following a string of his erratic behavior. More people, are alienated from him than ever before. Rumors are now starting to swirl that Kanye West has disappeared. Many are wondering if there's any truth to these rumors, but as it is right now, Kanye's former business manager, a guy by the name of Thomas St. John, has had trouble finding him as he attempts to serve the rapper with a $4.5 million lawsuit. So,
right. I know a lot of people run away from being served. So that's not uncommon. He probably doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, I would think not. I wouldn't want that to happen either. But the thing is that his behavior lately is the kind of thing that makes you worry, not just because he's going to be served with a lawsuit, but because
it does.
Yeah, because when people are going through psychotic episodes, if they disappear, then the fear is that they're dead.
Right. Yeah, that was actually my first gut instinct inside. I was like, oh gosh, he's in danger. And it's like with social media nowadays and cell phones, I mean, how can nobody ping his cell phone? I mean, I don't know if this has been reported to the police. It's like, how far have they taken this search?
I don't know. So we're just really getting these reports in the last 24 hours about Kanye, apparently being missing. Ann Henry says she saw Kanye on somebody's show. Can't remember whose it was, though. Was it live yesterday? Because
Yeah.
as of the latest reports right now, people are looking for Kanye and they can't find him. Kanye is the lawsuit that he's being served with is that his former business manager didn't pay him for 18 months of pay, and so they're apparently
Oh,
this
he didn't
lawsuit is
pay
like,
his manager.
yeah, two
Oh,
point
okay.
three million dollars is what I was
Yeah. So he's
reading.
like, pay up. But Kanye is financially struggling. I mean, I was just reading in an article that he has to sell his cars,
Yeah, so
his collection.
he's no longer a billionaire, and
Right.
he keeps losing his sponsors and people that he had worked with before.
Yeah.
So, Balenciaga, Adidas, which, I think was his big payday.
Right. So he's lost a lot of money. He has to pay over $200,000 a month in child support.
Right.
More money.
Yeah. According to U.S. Sun and the Independent, the ex-business manager is the one who's saying that he's missing, tries to serve missing Kanye West, skipping out on his lawsuit. Now, here's what Music Times is reporting on this, and this is 20 hours ago. And all of these reports, like none of these are the mainstream media. Not that not that our listeners really trust the mainstream media anyway. It's all alternative news sites. Like, so Music Times is saying Kanye West is not missing, location still unknown, but this is the reason why
It's
he's
like, what is the definition of missing when you don't know someone's location,
Yeah,
right?
no kidding. So they say he's not missing,
It's all
but his
semantics.
location, yeah, but his location is unknown. They say. Ye's business partner says that they're confronting major financial problems, and they essentially say that Kanye may be in hiding because of not just this one lawsuit, but just because of um, you know he's afraid to come out and talk to people after the backlash for some of his comments that he made.
With a lot of people, and I'm sure he's getting death threats made to him.
There were a lot of people who were still supporting him up until that Alex Jones interview, where I think you even said that you were like, "Oh yeah, Kanye, he's cool,"
Oh my gosh, I know. When I was on your show
Yeah.
many weeks ago, or possibly a couple months ago, I was like, "Yay, I would totally vote for Kanye." But that was like right before all of these interviews, and then I was like, "Oh gosh, I feel really silly now."
Jews for Kanye.
I mean, at one point in time, he seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
He had very different ideas than most politicians.
I don't know. I just don't understand why, like, you would say that. And I don't understand why other people would say that. To me, he's always seemed certifiably insane. And I don't get what other people see in people like this. It's like with the Andrew Tate being arrested and stuff like that. Like, I held my tongue for a long time on Andrew Tate because I was just like, there's a lot of things that I listen to Andrew Tate. Yeah, just like with Kanye, where I listen to Andrew and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's absolutely right. And I can understand why what he's saying is ticking people off. But he also just seemed like there was something wrong with him. I have a gut instinct about people, and usually it's turns out to be right. And not always, right? Not 100% of the time, but most of the time, I have a pretty good instinct about people, and I could just tell when there's something off with them. Now, the allegations that are being made against Andrew Tate are human trafficking.
Yeah, that's very serious stuff.
Well, it is, but here's the thing. Most people that I'm seeing online, at least like right wingers and people like that, or I guess Andrew Tate fans, they don't believe these allegations
Really
being made against Andrew Tate.
I mean, if they truly found two women in his house or two girls,
well,
then the proof is right there. If there's really people in his house,
sure, but of course, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, right?
Of course.
So,
yeah, like what are they doing there? Were they really being forced to stay there?
Right, exactly. And believe all women is like what we've been told to believe, but I don't necessarily do
the
that.
hashtag Me Too movement.
Right. So Tate and his brother Tristan were both detained on kidnapping and rape charges on Thursday, and this is after this whole Greta Thunberg dust up. Did you see this?
Yeah, I was starting to read some of it, and she's like, "This is what happens when you don't recycle your pizza boxes."
Well, here's the
what does pizza boxes have to do with human trafficking.
Well, a lot actually. There's the metaphor of Pizzagate, which was like this whole story from years ago. But then here's the thing: this is actually how they caught Andrew Tate. Was the pizza boxes.
Right, because then they could identify where he was, his location. He wasn't missing like Kanye.
Right. So they were, because it was a Romanian pizza brand,
Yes.
the authorities knew that he was in country at his estate. And they had been preparing this investigation on him for human trafficking for quite some time.
Right.
And so once they saw that he was in country with the pizza boxes from Jerry's Pizza, which is a local chain in Romania, they raided his house and arrested him and his brother, and that's how they were able to bring them, to jail. So,
well, that is absolute karma.
Here's the thing. So Tate and his brother have been accused of holding two young women, one with American citizenship and one with Romanian, against their will in Tate's villa. During this time, they were reported being sexually exploited and forced to participate in pornographic demonstrations that were documented and spread throughout social media platforms.
Wow. So if it's on social media, then there has to be some sort of proof, right?
Yeah. So, and I'm not 100% sure of this one. I'll have to double check on his page here. But we all know that Andrew Tate is famous for his kickboxing record.
Right.
But I think the background is that there was a social media presence. So
he became an influencer.
Yeah, he became an influencer.
After he was a kickboxer.
He was on the British reality show Big Brother.
Oh, Big Brother. Okay, I used to be a watcher of that back in like the early 2000s.
Yes. So Tate was raised as a Christian and joined the Romanian Orthodox Church after moving to Romania. Interesting. When a video of him praying at a mosque in Dubai went viral in 2022, he announced that he had converted to Islam.
Yes, we were just watching an interview about that he did convert. I mean, when I was watching him in the interview the other day, he seems like a douchebag, honestly. He looks like he's up to no good.
Which we shouldn't necessarily judge people for.
I know. Talking about gut instinct.
But
right?
if you ever want to get away with crap and have people defend you, just convert to Christianity. And then if you want to get like the most craziest people in the world on your side, convert from Christianity to Islam. I mean, get away with anything, call out, because I was watching an interview with him. I think we were both watching this last night.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
He's like, all these atheistic asses and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there watching. I'm like, dude, this sounds like a guy who's getting ready to go down. It just sounds like a guy who's getting himself way in over his head. Maybe he didn't do it. You know what? Maybe it's the deep state. Maybe it's just, people are going to say, oh, you're just jealous of how many followers and fans he has.
Right. Because he's a millionaire. He's got a lot of money.
Yeah. Which is amazing because you would think if you were a millionaire, you wouldn't have to do stuff like that. You wouldn't have to
force people to stay with you. Wouldn't you think he'd have women throwing themselves at him?
Yeah. Like, what's his name? That Dan Bilzerian character and stuff. Like,
I'm not familiar with.
Oh, you don't? Well, of course you're not familiar with Dan Bilzerian.
I don't throw myself at men.
You're not familiar with Dan Bilzerian. We'll have to talk about Dan Bilzerian is, I guess, when we get back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes, shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today.
Fire.
Your printing company stinks. They charge you too much money and they don't love America enough. We've got the solution. Patriot Printing USA. Whether you're running for office, saving souls, or just need business cards that will get you the new job you've been looking for, Patriot Printing USA has got you covered with the best prices around. Palm cards, brochures, bumper stickers, door hangers, you name it, we've got it. PatriotPrintingUSA.com. That's PatriotPrintingUSA.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Since it's Family Friday, we're joined in studio by my lovely wife, Stephanie Petersen.
Hello.
Hello, Steffi. Happy New Year, almost.
Happy New Year.
Thanks so much for coming in today.
Decked out in my gear.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Well, Stephanie has already called Andrew Tate a douchebag, so
He is.
yeah, you're just tuning in.
Anyone who wears sunglasses inside.
Indoors.
Yes.
I don't know.
That means they're a little bit odd.
I might have done that once before, but I was trying to hide my puffy eyes.
So maybe he has puffy eyes.
There it is. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, we're talking about Kanye West missing, reported by a former business partner. And we're talking about Andrew Tate being arrested in a human trafficking saga. Internet personality and former kickboxer Andrew Tate and his brother were detained by police in Romania on Thursday on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group, according to reports. An organized crime group. Reuters reported that Romanian prosecutors confirmed that Tate and his brother Tristan Tate were detained and will remain so for at least 24 hours with two other suspects from Romania.
Gosh, that's even more creepy that two brothers are doing this. It's like, what kind of, I mean, as a therapist, I think, okay, what kind of family life did they come from? How were they raised?
It's hard to say. So the four suspects, according to the anti-organized crime unit of Romania, they say the four suspects appear to have created an organized crime group with the purpose of recruiting, housing, and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialized websites for a cost, prosecutors said. They would have gained important sums of money. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is just my not trusting the governments anywhere side of things. He's got, if you have 3 million followers on Twitter, which he's not allowed on Facebook. I think he's been banned from like Instagram and from a lot of other platforms.
Okay.
But if you have 3 million followers on Twitter, and I'm sure he's got email lists and all this kind of stuff,
Right.
you don't need to create pornography or do anything like that to make money. You don't have to do anything illegal. Here's the thing.
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't have to do anything illegal.
No, and
Right,
it
to
seems
make
that people in power tend to do more things that are illegal. They're more corrupt.
Even if they
somehow.
don't have to, which is kind of
Right.
fascinating because, I'm not trying to say that this is necessarily a defense of Tate, but I will say that people who are suspicious of the allegations against Andrew Tate, I think, have good reason to not. We can't just go on our hunches or the fact that you think that he's a douchebag or
Sure.
or that I,
A lot of douchebags don't do illegal things.
exactly. There are plenty of douchebags out there that haven't committed a single crime, right? But the problem is that if you think about it, with Andrew Tate's massive follower base, and people say, obviously you can't necessarily trust what people say, right? Because people can say one thing and do another.
Of course, especially the tabloids.
Last
The
night,
Inquirer exists for a reason.
exactly. Last night, Stephanie and I were watching a video where Andrew Tate was doing an interview where he was talking about crypto scams, and he was criticizing Jake Paul or Logan Paul, one of the two, one of the Paul brothers for running.
Yes, he was talking about them.
For running crypto scams, which the Paul brothers are notorious for running massive scams online.
Right.
They run like on their follower base, they'll do like these like casino things for kids, and they'll just like they'll reap millions of dollars from these companies for like doing these like crypto casinos and different things.
You and I were asking ourselves, how do people like this get away with these things? How do people buy into it?
It's just like, well, with Andrew Tate, for example, like the reason why, if he did do all this stuff, the reason why people are supporting him is not just because they distrust the deep state, but I mean, it's kind of the cultish behavior of a celebrity.
Right.
So it's the reason why Pete Buttigieg lost the presidential primary, but is now the Secretary of Transportation. Like
he had connections?
Yeah, you fail up after you get to a certain level in this country. You start to fail up once you're connected well enough.
Yeah,
you don't, even if you fail, you're going to go up somewhere else. It's like the guy who's the guy that wears the dress that was stealing all the Vera Bradley bags.
So oh my gosh, I don't know his name, but he's that bald-haired man.
The bald-headed guy.
Looks really goofy, and he steals women's clothes.
Like, if anybody wants to make a bet right now, let's have our own little crypto casino. I'll bet you 0.0088 of a Bitcoin that guy is going to have a job in.
For sure,
he's going to have.
He's probably going to be on the face of a fashion brand.
Yes, he's going to be on the face. Exactly, he's going to be modeling women's clothing. He's going to have. He's going to
the runway in New York.
Yeah, once he serves his time or whatever, if he serves any time, which they'll probably give him time served and they'll put him in a women's prison.
Yep.
Then that guy is going to be, he's going to be just fine. Because again, if you are wealthy enough, powerful enough, connected enough in this country, in the world, you can get away with anything.
It reminds me of Martha Stewart as we're talking about that, how she went to jail, but it's like she's fine.
Yeah, well, Martha Stewart, in my opinion, Martha Stewart did nothing wrong because, in my opinion, insider trading, unless it's Congress, different story. Insider trading is a victimless crime.
Yeah,
it's not the same for Congress people because Congress people are regulating industries that they oversee. But if I work for a company and I give my brother information about that company, right? That's just that's a victimless crime. Who's the victim there, right?
Exactly.
To me, insider trading laws are about about jealousy and envy more than anything else, right? Anyways, but we can debate victimless crimes as insider trading is victimless crimes another time. But the thing is that with somebody like Andrew Tate, like people like that can get away with it. Guess Michael Vick. Somebody's bringing up Michael Vick.
Oh, is he the dog fighting guy?
Yeah. See,
Gosh.
people love a redemption arc, right?
That sickens me. All the animal abuse.
JGJ over in the live stream says, Sam Brenton was the name of the guy who stole the variable device.
Thank you.
He says, do you put money on him being a part of Balenciaga? Very funny. Yeah, some kind of pro pedo brand or something like that. Rare Camellia over in the live stream says, love how people will even defend Tate's videos of beating women as role play. Healthy male role model there.
There's videos of him beating women?
So here we go down the rabbit hole here. There is videos of him being very violent to women sexually.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. So the woman in question came out and said it was voluntary.
Okay.
All right.
So he made a sex tape or something?
Yeah, they recorded themselves. Sorry that the content is so heavy. If you have kids this morning, you're listening in, I apologize. So yeah, there's videos of Andrew Tate where he's with a woman and he's being very violent with her.
Okay.
Some people are into
He's into BDSM, maybe.
Yeah. Now, Camellia is trying to make it out of beating women as role play as if that says something about your character. I don't know about that.
I mean, fantasy is fantasy.
Yes, fantasy is fantasy, but I guess you could ask the question that what does it say about your character that your fantasy is hurting.
Well, as a therapist, yes, I can go down a rabbit hole with that and say it's due to some sort of trauma that you experienced as a child, which makes you turned on by certain things.
Yes. Quest Fanning over here is defending Martha Stewart. The chat this morning is cracking me up. He says, we're both coughing. He says, Martha Stewart lost money on the trades. Oh, no. That's terrible. Wah, wah.
King is still good.
Robbie Theriman in there says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite
That's
me.
That's right. Rihanna likes it. We love Rihanna. Why is it when a man is more aggressive?
Camellia says, I sent you a thread. There's more than one woman. Well, why does more than one woman not make it okay?
Right. Maybe more than one woman likes to feel pain.
Right.
There's a lot of women out there who like that stuff.
As long as both are into it, says Elizabeth Fanning.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, bro.
What are we doing this morning?
Man, get your ass on, boy.
The show says that he likes women. He likes being sexual with women. Okay, so he has more tendencies like that.
He likes doing it on camera, which would lead one to wonder what the whole conversion to Christianity and then Islam was all about.
Right. I would be curious to hear his rationale for that.
Yeah. Let everyone, Dustin says, lol, everyone has a fantasy that I want 3 chicks. What happened to me when I was a kid? What are you talking about?
Oh, that he wants to have 3 women at one time. So what happened to him as a kid? Could. You know what? What happened to you is you're a man. You're normal.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Dustin, if you're into animals, seek therapy, says Aunt Henry. What is going on in the chat? I'm going to have to stop reading the chat this morning if you all don't calm it down today. All right. Well,
they're going to start talking about Jello molds and it'll be all downhill.
This is a good time for us to go to a commercial break, I think. We're going to have to head into, let's get our ska music playing up. All right. We'll be right back. We'll continue this discussion because it seems like you guys want to talk about BDSM today.
Let me go get my whip.
Yeah, we'll be back.
BRB.
We'll be back with more on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here. And we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Austin's wife. I want to thank you all for watching the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen. This show has been a huge venture for our family, so we would love it if you could join us.
I believe in liberty, and I believe in Austin's ability to spread the ideas of liberty. Do you?
I want to ask you today to join Petersen's Patriots with a pledge of $17.76 a month. Help us to stay cancel-proof so we can spread the message of limited government across the country. I joined Petersen's Patriots myself, just in a little different way. Visit wakeupamericashow.com/support and make your pledge today.
Hey, it's Austin. Thanks for watching and listening to the Wake Up America show. 2022 has been an exciting year for the Petersen household. Steffi and I celebrated our first anniversary, and my new radio program, The Austin Petersen Show, was syndicated in St. Louis just over a month ago. There have been some challenging times, but with the help and support of good friends like you, we've been able to come out even stronger at the end of this year than when we started. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the Cantina crew, especially Camellia Petersen, Tolly Owens, Jamie Marie Pope, Chris Morrill, Matt Unruh, Quest Fanning, Elizabeth Fanning Press, Tina Martin Goodrick, John Rail, Jasper Logan, Kathy Jo Loy, Edie Vogel, Grant Sundberg, Anna DePalm, Doug Hill, Andy Opperman, Lyle and Lori Rosberg, John Petersen, John Mashurik, Ava Lavasco, Leslie Scott Russell, Liberty Liss, Pam Ames, Cecilia Harden, Mary Kramer, and dozens more than I could list here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and may your days be merry and bright with a Happy New Year.
Hello, I'm George. Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1, you can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself or me mum, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great. Number 2, most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3, you're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me pups build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell, this commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning. It's 7:36. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen at wakeupamericashow.com. Sorry for a little bit of black space there. We were trying to get a clip ready for you. This is something that Camellia Petersen sent over to me. Before I do, real quick, let me read what JGJ says. He says, the reason Tate converted Islam is because he saw Christianity as weak and too accepting of degeneracy, especially the drag queen pastors, and saw Muslims as badass and strong in their convictions. He says, by the way, as a break glass NatCon, I'm a fan of AP for Liberty way before I gave $5 to someone who has a fake university and douchebag personality. Very funny. Thanks for sticking around. We got Steffi Petersen still in the chat there. Yeah, so she can... Yeah, we've got, technical limitations by the size of the studio that we're in right now. But we will be back, I guess, to normal next week. So that's good news. Yep, so let's go ahead and listen to this clip here. This is what Camellia sent to me from Andrew about Andrew Tate. Let's take a listen to this.
We're talking about assets, liabilities, etc. And I'm writing down all my assets and I'm trying to work out what I have that's worth money. And the only thing I writ down, because I had a car, but what's that worth? Nothing. I'm big and strong, but I'm already fighting. I can't think of anything else to do with that. The only thing I had was, because I've been fighting all around the world, I had these 6 girlfriends, right? Because you'd win the world title, you fuck a ring girl, she falls in love with you, you're the big millionaire in London.
Sorry for the language.
And of course, she thinks you live in the balling life. You're in some tiny apartment with a door locked. So I had these girlfriends, and I thought, well, I can't open a strip club. It costs money to open a strip club. And I'm kind of racking my brain, and by absolute coincidence, I'm going around the internet, and I saw in the corner, Talk to Live Girls Now. And I'd never in my life, like, I was never a porn guy. I've never been watching porn or clicking on these things. And I said, Talk to Live Girls. So I clicked on it, and there's some chick there on a computer, like, hi. And I was like, my girls can do that. So that was the very beginning. That was the eureka moment. We're talking about assets.
Okay, so 2021, Andrew Tate explained how he saw his multiple girlfriends as assets to start a cam girl business with. I mean,
a lot of men see women as assets. That
Yes.
just tells me he may be a little bit of a narcissist.
right? A little bit of a narcissist, you think, Stephanie?
Yes.
That's so hard to say. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. Dustin over here says pushing someone off a roof for their beliefs doesn't make you a badass. It makes you evil. He's talking about Islam right there because Tate converted to Islam, allegedly, according to our friend JJJ.
Morals.
Well, you know,
He's dissing the morals of Christians.
I have to be very careful what I say here because I'm a non-believer who has a believer audience. You know what I
Right,
mean,
right.
if I was a leftist or if I was a Democrat, then I could say what I really feel most of the time about organized religion, but I have to tread lightly because I'm a right winger.
Yeah.
That's a non-religious, so it's like, you know.
Giving kudos to the Christians. It's like, I just don't see how he can diss Christianity in terms of morality and then go to something
Well, he
else
says
and then
that
be
they're
very
weak.
immoral himself.
He says that Christianity is weak against what JGJ says is like,
Okay,
it's
so-
like the drag queen story.
He says maybe they give more into temptation or bad things, whereas people who are Islamic,
no.
they don't do that so much.
So the drag, it's all about the drag queens, right? The right sees the drag queens as like the greatest threat to Western civilization since the barbarians had invaded Rome.
Wow,
So-
that's huge.
Well, it's a big issue, right?
Yeah.
So we've had big conversations about
We
this,
have,
right?
yes.
Because here's the thing: drag queens by themselves, as they are, you know, just being all drag queeny,
Mhm.
you know, are not a threat, right? But unfortunately, because of things that have occurred, especially here in Missouri, in the last week, did you see about the drag queen story hours that they had here in Missouri? And they
I
invited
mean, I
kids?
saw a drag queen
wasn't
with her boobs in a box.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? I mean, that's literally like a stripper.
And they invited kids to that show.
Right. Yeah. That
was in
is
Missouri.
definitely wrong.
That
Would
was
you
in-
bring your kid to a strip club?
That was in Missouri.
Yeah, and that really shocks me because Missourians come across as very conservative.
Mhm.
And here's the thing. When I was looking for activities to do for my birthday in March, all I can find is drag shows.
Mhm.
That's all I can find. And it seems to be something like all throughout Missouri that's very, very popular.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so convert to Islam was the thing because he says that
Right.
he didn't think that the Christians were tough enough on this issue.
But yet Muslims,
Muslims,
they're very much against
Muslims
it.
will throw you off the roof.
Right. Okay, so he went for them because they're more strict.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't understand why it's impossible for people to defend Western values and defend children at the same time. Like I think it's possible to defend Western values and defend religious freedom and defend the rights of children and defend the rights of homosexuals to display fake boobs, you know, at a drag show, right? As if
That's minarchism.
Well, yeah, it's called minarchism. Thank you, Stephanie, exactly for pointing that out.
Yeah, we believe in police. We believe in laws.
Yeah, we believe in laws. We believe in laws that protect children.
Right.
Which I spoke to Ben Baker yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he is introducing legislation to make it a crime for drag shows to invite children to them here in the state of Missouri.
Okay.
So
Hey, that'll be interesting to see how that does.
yeah, why no stripper story hour, says Elizabeth Fanning.
Right. They should just relabel it.
Yeah, just
stripper story hour, and then see what parents take their kids there.
no kidding. And it's not about religion. It's about people, because people, the source of their morality is religious. But as a non-religious person, we have morality too, right? There's a base morality that exists that's universal, right?
Yeah.
Thou shalt not kill. It doesn't necessarily have to be from one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill is a religious edict, but any moron who's not religious can agree with that, right?
Right. And I mean, in terms of child development, there's certain things that young kids aren't ready to see yet because they don't understand those things.
Yeah. A.N. Henry says, so glad that crap isn't happening in Tennessee. It will. Just trust us.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I would imagine it's going on all around the nation.
Rare Camellia over the live stream says there are a lot of Muslims who will tell you that it's a peaceful religion and that the extremists are misinterpreting it. It's a factionalism. That a lot of do you believe that, Camellia? As Quest Fanning is asked. It's a good question, to be honest. What do you think? Send us a text at 573-319-1586. You can also do a super chat on the show. Let's do some end of year super chats. What do you say?
Yeah.
Make sure that you join us over on YouTube for that at youtube.com/AP4Liberty.
Yeah, if you have a question for us or a really big comment,
yep, you can
do a super chat.
Yep, you can text us again at 573-319-1586. Somebody just sent us a message with, this is from March of 2022.
Okay. What is that talking about?
Ooh, this is good stuff. Juicy.
Ooh, I like juicy.
Yeah, exclusive. This is from the Mirror of the UK. Brothers make millions using webcam girls to sell sob stories to desperate men. Now this is a hit piece on the Tate brothers, but listen, listen to this. Callus Tristan, his brother's name is actually literally Callus.
Callus?
Yeah, like a callus.
Okay, this is where I really question his parents.
Okay, here we go.
What was going on there?
Why would you name your son Callus, like a foot callus?
I mean, that just sets you up for failure, honestly.
Well, apparently not, because they're both millionaires. Callus Tristan and Andrew Tate run a studio where punters, which I think punters in the United States means like somebody who kicks a football.
Oh, okay.
Like a player who punts.
Familiar.
But a person who places a bet.
Okay.
Especially a prostitute's client. A punter is a British slang for speculator or trader who hopes to make quick profits in the financial markets. Okay, so that's what they're saying about his brother.
Okay. Someone who wants to make quick money.
Yeah, they run a gambling studio where punters hand over thousands, believing they are in relationships with the girls. And the brothers admit it's all a scam, but authorities cannot stop them. Okay, so this is a little bit more background on the brothers. Here we go. Two brothers are raking in millions from webcam sites where men hand over a fortune as they fall for models' fake sob stories. This sounds like OnlyFans.
It does. It sounds like some sad fishing going on too.
Here's the thing: how are you going to get upset about be on one hand be like totally outraged about the drag queen stuff, and then on the other hand be running webcam sites?
Exactly.
And then claim to be some kind of like.
Is it something about having virgins all surrounding you?
You know what the problem is? It's those atheists. It's what it is. It's the atheists that are the problem. And Tate was really mad at the atheists last night. Callus Tristan and Andrew Tate, according to this article, by the way, admit their business is a total scam, but say the authorities cannot stop them. They claim to run a studio where 75 lingerie-clad models take calls from fans paying $4 a minute. So it's like a sex chat line. Okay.
That's not uncommon.
Punters
around for a long time.
Yeah, the webcam stuff. Punters can ask for private shows and pay tips at their own risk. At their own risk. What the hell is that?
What kind of risk is there? The bad experience?
That they might pay and not get the performance that they want. Tristan says one man handed over his 20,000-pound inheritance. Oh my God.
There's a lot of men that spend a lot of their money on strippers.
For sure.
Strippers are very manipulative. They make them think that they want a relationship, and these men just keep giving more and more money.
Stephanie J, speaking of giving us money, JGJ just gave us $5.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta do a little dance?
Yeah.
There's my wife.
Cam girl.
I'm exploiting it. Well, technically you are on a cam right now. It's not a webcam though. It's a nice high class DSLR.
Actually, Down.
You give us super chats today at your own risk, people. Let's see. The Kickboxing Brothers say the money is really rolling in. They once had a private jet. Both have posed up with guns, of course, which the UK doesn't like. Some of their customers fall for the belief that they can have a real relationship with the women they see on screen. Well, that's not the brothers' fault.
No, it's
If
just
you're
these
that-
are incels.
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. I was watching this video that was talking about the schemes that the Paul brothers, the Logan and Jake Paul brothers run. And it's like, they have like millions of fans, and like most of their fans are kids. But here's the thing. When I was looking at the people who were getting scammed in their crypto casinos, these were adults.
Really?
And that were like, I believed Jake Paul. I believed Logan Paul.
Oh, God.
Like, I trusted them and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry about the language this
People who
morning.
believe conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah, exactly. Quest Fanning just gave us $1.99. Steffi,
Thank you.
dance, Steffi, dance. Webcam girl.
So nice to us. We've been eating your bagels.
I know, webcam girl moment. Thank you for that, Quest. We appreciate it very much. Good morning, perpetrators, says Agorizers. Nice to see you. Capitalism at its dirtiest, says A.N. Henry.
Very true.
Yeah, online strippers. If guys are that gullible, then oh well. Yeah, agreed. If you're that dumb to send money like that.
We're just desperate.
Tristan brazenly told the Sunday Mirror it's all a big scam and bragged he doesn't feel any guilt because no one cares. It's their problem, not mine.
Exactly.
So apparently the brothers have been at this for quite a while. So this is according to the Mirror.
But they've been doing it legally, apparently.
Well, here's the thing. They've been arrested for human trafficking. The problem is this, is that while you and I are talking about some idealized version of a webcam site where no one's being exploited.
Right.
But the reality is for a lot of these webcam sites is that a lot of sex trafficking goes on.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of these amateur videos.
Right. I
mean, they really are just normal people.
Was it the founder of Pornhub that got arrested recently, got caught in California? Some guy, I think.
Oh, wow.
I have to. I know that this is going to pull up all the
oh, boy.
child pornography.
Yeah.
Some guy got arrested in the last couple weeks out in California.
And then there's a lot of women who do porn and then afterwards they regret it and then they say they were manipulated into doing it.
Right. Oh, here he is. Michael James Pratt. This is a New Zealand guy. Founder of a California-based porn empire is arrested in Spain. So, yeah, Michael Pratt. This is a guy who who did child pornography. Boy, this is definitely going to get us demonetized. We're definitely going to need your super chats today, guys, because we can't monetize this video today.
Endorse these things.
It doesn't matter if we don't endorse it. If we're not leftists endorsing it, then you get demonetized. If you're a right winger, then you can't talk about this kind of stuff and be monetized.
Yeah.
Michael Pratt, who's arrested in Spain after 3 years on the lam. He was a pornographer who was accused of tricking and pressuring young women into filming adult videos, and many of these were underage. These girls were underage.
Yeah, so that's definitely illegal.
Right.
You have to be of age.
But here's the thing. So I'm not saying that Andrew Tate or his brother were running underage schemes and things like that, but
Right.
But the thing is that with a lot of these webcam sites, I'm not saying that the girls that Andrew Tate had were underage, because that's a serious allegation that you need some evidence.
Right.
But if he's arrested for human trafficking, it's possible that some of these webcam girls that were, were being held against their will to do these kinds of things, if the allegations prove to be true. Maybe they aren't true. And everybody deserves, to be considered innocent until proven guilty, unless they're a Democrat, in which case we shall assume that they are guilty until they're.
So I assume he'll be tried in a Romanian court?
Hard to say. Good question. Michael Nip sent us
where this was done, right? Do you get tried in the place where you committed the crime?
I'm not sure. Michael Nip gave us a super chat. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
So, since it's the last show of the year, AP should sing a few bars of Auld Lang Syne. I will try that. My voice is almost completely shot. John Rails sent us $5 as well. John, thank you
so much.
He says, us men are gullible when it comes to the possibility of getting a glimmer of hope with women. Isn't that true, Steffi? Isn't that so true?
Women are just so sneaky. They know how to reel you in with their fishing pole.
Yep. Rare Camellia says exploiting weak men is pretty much the same as charlatan preachers bilking poor people out of their money with false hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Quest Fanning with the real comment says, R.I.P. Austin's search history. I know that one's going to get me.
We're going to have to clear your history.
I know that one's going to get me in trouble if they're going to
tell you as a therapist, I search for really odd things depending on what my clients come to me for. So my search history is probably really bizarre.
For sure. Thanks for all the super chat, guys. We appreciate that. That's going to help us because we won't be able to monetize this video otherwise. So we can get super chats. And of course, we'll read your super chat on air. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's nice that YouTube still lets you have some money.
They'll let you
just like get rid of all of it.
Well, to be honest and completely transparent, like in terms of views, like the show, the Wake Up America show live stream itself doesn't get a ton of views,
right?
But the advertising revenue is not very big. You know, maybe one day the show will get huge and the channel will go up and we'll have a bunch of subscribers. But I think that really the reality is that the only way that this show is going to truly be successful is going to be on the basis of the support of the fans,
right?
And on people deciding to
buy
subscribers, supporters, members, and also like the AP for Liberty shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really the only way to stay strong, because the fact is that you can get demonetized at any time too.
Right.
So as long as you
could even get kicked off of YouTube, and then you're really screwed.
For sure. And the fact is that as long as we have like enough monthly subscribers, and as long as we have like our gold sponsor, the Lear Capital, then we'll be fine. The Wake Up America show will continue in perpetuity. But if we lose our gold sponsor, if people aren't giving super chats or aren't being monthly subscribers, or the shop isn't selling anymore,
right,
then that's just the end of the show, which that's the marketplace, right?
I know. And I've seen a few of our friends who have been podcasters for a few years, and they're putting a kibosh on their own shows, and it makes me sad to hear that. But I also know the reality just because of what you do, and I know it's hard to really make a living doing full-time podcasting.
My God, it's hard. And I mean, like the Lear Capital sponsor was like, manna from heaven. It was like, thank God, because, otherwise you really need to have like you need to have like an Andrew Tate size fan base.
Right.
To monetize them effectively. But it's like
hundreds of thousands of views.
It's so tempting to just run scams too, because that's how those guys really get rich and big and famous and stuff.
Exactly.
What's funny
that's why it's so enticing to do the wrong thing.
Yeah, it is. It's very tempting to do the wrong thing. But like, I've gotten to where I'm at in my career with like, a sizable following by doing the right thing and only, not running scams and, running for office legitimately and, building healthy communities that are not toxic and stuff. So it's like,
even as a therapist, I could be taking advantage of people and taking their money, just like this woman. I think we might be talking about it later, who collects over $300 an hour working with clients to help them not be afraid talking on the phone.
Oh, yeah. We were going to talk about that this morning, but we haven't gotten there yet. But
again, it's like that's a therapist really taking advantage of people.
For sure. We've got a lot more great content to go, Stephanie. We're going to run to our commercial break for a minute to give our voices a chance to rest, because I am sick and so is Stephanie. But I think that since we did get a super chat, we should sing a little bit of Auld Lang Syne. What do you think?
Oh, sure. I don't know the words. Let me.
Well, I only know one sentence of the
all acquaintance be forgot.
Yes. Should old acquaintance
get the lyrics just so I can sound half good.
Get
okay.
the lyrics.
Ready?
Here we go. Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of old lang.
Oops. I must be on the wrong one.
I got the wrong. No, it's me, because I'm not looking at it. And never brought to mind. What's the next line? The acquaintance be forgot in days of auld lang syne. We'll be back with more on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Hello, my name is Kelvin. Welcome to Frenchy Bush. This is my Diddy's website. Now I've decided to speak to you with my real voice for the first time ever to tell you about how cool Frenchy Bush is. But I've decided that this is the perfect opportunity to share with you. Frenchy Bush is a good website. You should follow us on socials. If you like Frenchies or any kind of bulldogs, me and my new brother George are going to try to make your life more fun.
Hello, I'm I'm George. My neck isn't really thick yet, but it will be. We are so glad you're here. Please ignore my floating eyeball. It helps me spot predators who might be approaching from the sides.
Dee Dee made Frenchie bullshit to review things that he uses on me and my brother to tell you if it's good or bullshit. Take this collar, for example. Dee Dee really likes it. Dee Dee said it's really handy because us Frenchies got thick necks. Need something really tough. People think Frenchies are little, but if you look at us from below, you can see we are really pretty buff. Beefcake. Yes. Look at my creamy thighs and chest. Yes. You like that?
Big brother, please focus.
Frenchie Bullshit. Please follow us for more great content and read the Frenchie Bullshit blog for more fun and cool stuff.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every $1 we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Gideon's Promise trains, mentors, and supports public defenders.
There are a lot of people who say that they would not still be public defenders, but for Gideon's Promise.
It's fueled me to continue on in this fight.
Gideon's Promise has changed the face of public defense.
People see us as troublemakers.
Good trouble only.
We don't make it easy. It should not be easy to take away someone's liberty.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume again.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
you have any real-world experience.
It's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Make no mistake, reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Good morning. It's 8:01. Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. My lovely wife, Stephanie Petersen, is joining us now in the studio. Good morning, Stephanie.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Glad to have you here. Thanks so much for coming on the program today.
Absolutely.
I
always look forward to Fridays.
Yes, Friday. Family Fridays, we like to call it. We're having a lot of fun here today, and we're talking about, we talked earlier about Kanye West reportedly being missing by somebody who's trying to serve him with a lawsuit.
Yeah. It's like, how do you miss a celebrity with all the paparazzi out there?
Yeah, when they say he's missing, he might not actually be missing. It might just be that he's trying to dodge this lawsuit that's coming our way at him, right?
Probably in a basement somewhere or a bunker.
Doesn't want to get served. But we are really getting a lot of traction talking about Andrew Tate's arrest.
Yes.
And we're going to have a guest today on the program. First time on the show, Daniella Pentsak is going to be joining us on the program here at 8:30. She's going to give us a little bit more background on the Andrew Tate arrest.
Great.
And we're going to talk to her a little bit more about, Andrew Tate's background and, the latest news regarding that case. It's got a lot of people over on the chat this morning, and they're having a conversation about the manosphere.
Manosphere? What is that?
Well, here's the thing. So JGJ and Rare Camellia are having a discussion over in the chat about like how terrible the modern dating market is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do hear that a lot from clients. All of the dating apps are pretty much crap.
Yeah, and it's so tempting to get black-pilled these days.
Mhm.
I could totally understand why somebody who's in the dating market now would get black-pilled. I mean, being black-pilled is now kind of it's in vogue, right? It kind of started a few years ago with like what we call doom scrolling.
Mhm.
Doug H over here says, "For your cold, here's chicken noodle super chat, $5." Thanks, Doug.
Creative.
we do need to be eating some chicken noodle soup today for sure. Yes.
Cans of soup.
Yes, we need to eat some soup. Thank you for that, Doug. And since we're talking about things like human trafficking and pedophilia and drag queens and stuff, there's no way that we can monetize this video the normal way. So your super chats go a long way to help
Yes,
us.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you so much. So Tolly says, asked the questions. He did say Kanye was missing, right? According to someone who's trying to serve him with court papers. So
Right.
he may not actually be missing. He may just be hiding from getting served.
Yeah. People run away from being served. I've even heard of people who run away for so long that the court drops the case.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, then that's why they do it.
So I think you have a certain time limit to actually serve someone, and you can only extend it so much.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's kind of interesting. Well, no wonder then he decided, how are you going to run for president of the United States and have him disappear? Dustin over in the live stream says he didn't even know Andrew Tate until the arguments. Yeah, you didn't know who Andrew Tate was until I told you about him like a couple of days ago, right?
Because did people really like him? Clearly, he had millions of followers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like, what did people like him for?
Well, here's the thing. So he makes a lot of controversial comments.
Okay, people like controversy.
Yeah,
I
they
know
like
that.
people who talk shit. I think his actual claim to fame, something that he did that is, I think, worthy of fame, is
Mhm.
being a kickboxing champion.
Okay, which is cool.
Oh,
It sounds like he's talented. I mean, I did see him in that interview the other day. He looks pretty ripped. He's got big muscles.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you're, it's one thing to be like a boxing champion. It's
Mhm.
one thing to be like, whatever. A kickboxing champion is like, it's the American Muay Thai, which is
Really?
oh yeah, it's hardcore. If you're a kickboxing champion, then you're a certified badass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he won a lot of matches that he had. If
Yeah,
he's...
he was a world champion.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. So that right there is enough, I think, to get. But even that, like, isn't necessarily going to give you the kind of fame that Andrew Tate has,
Mhm.
because Andrew Tate weighs into the political sphere.
Right.
And he takes and because of his high profile conversion to Christianity, and then after that his high profile conversion to Islam,
Mhm.
and the reasons for his conversion to Islam, it's quite fashionable on the right now to take sides in the debate in terms of drag queen story hours and things like that.
Oh, of
And if you're
course.
like this big masculine bro, Chad or whatever,
Mhm.
then you're going to get a lot of attention for that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect storm.
It is. It was the perfect storm for fame. It's just that part of the Andrew Tate story is, and I'm
Mm.
sure Daniella is going to give us a little more background on this.
Yeah.
Is the whole background in webcams and the accusations that have been made about him being someone who engages in trafficking,
Mhm.
which are, again, allegations. We're not saying that Andrew Tate is a sex trafficker or that he we're just saying that that's what he's accused of. That's what he's been arrested for.
Right. But they were able to actually come into his house, so they must have had a search warrant, I imagine, to be able to
it's
actually go to his
Romania.
door. Right. I don't know their rules over there.
So if I am to be understood correctly, Romania, fascism, Nazis. So I think Romania, fascism. So I think Romania was during World War II. Romanian was like part of the Axis. I'm not 100%. Romania during World War II. Romania during World War II.
So what would that mean if they're part of the Axis?
Well, then let's see. The Kingdom of Romania adopted a position of neutrality. Oh, I was incorrect. However, the rapidly changing situation, fascist political forces rose in popularity power, urging an alliance with Nazi Germany and its allies.
Ooh.
So, in the government of Romania turned to Germany, um, unaware that the then dominant European power had already granted its blessing to Soviet claims on Romanian territory in a secret protocol of 1939's Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So Romania was seeking protection from Nazi Germany. They were like, "We want to be Nazis, we want to be Nazis," and
Yeah.
the Nazis were like, "Okay, yeah, no, we're going to give you we're going to give you over to the Soviets." This is part of the
We're unwanted.
yeah, as part of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So
Yeah, I don't know what kind of government Romania has. If it's democratic.
Mhm. As the tides of war turned against the Axis, the Allies bombed Romania from 1943 on. So, yes, and then of course they were socialist after that. So, man, not not a great place to live, right?
I was listening to Andrew Tate in his interview. His accent is the weirdest accent I've ever heard in my life.
I think it's British.
He's British, but like he sounded like he had a very American accent with a few British words that he was saying. It was so bizarre.
Yeah. Do you remember when Romania was the capital, the place of Ceausescu. So do you remember me telling you this story and showing you about this guy, this dictator that they killed?
Him and his wife, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so gruesome.
Yeah. So for those of you who are unaware about Nicolae Ceausescu, he was the communist dictator of Romania for a number of years, and he was publicly executed after a kangaroo court trial. They AK-47'd him and his wife.
Yeah, and there's actually videos of it on YouTube that we've watched.
They did it on camera. It was pretty brutal. And
yes.
They the interesting thing about it too is that the reason why, like the people had finally had enough of his communist rule and his wife, but he was giving a speech and like they were like people were demonstrating and stuff, and so in order to try and calm them down, he said he's going to raise the minimum wage.
Oh, I remember that. So he was trying to appease them. Everyone, calm down. You're getting what you want.
Yes,
don't worry.
We're going to raise the minimum wage. Vouchy. We're going to raise the minimum wage. Robbie Thurman gave us a super chat. Says Romania makes damn fine AKs. Yes, they do.
Thank you, Robbie.
Unfortunately, I could only afford an American AK, so I'm working with the Visca these days, but it's still good. You like the AK, don't you?
I do. It's very easy to shoot.
Your favorite gun of ours, though, is the AR-15, isn't it?
Yes, I like the AR-15. That is super easy to shoot. In terms of a pistol, I like the 1911. That is my very favorite handgun.
She likes the 1911. Let's see if you can see it there. It's got the Wake Up America logo is up there blocking the 1911.
Yeah, I tend to like the bigger handguns because the kickback isn't so bad for me. The smaller ones are very whippy.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, I'm speaking here with my lovely wife, Stephanie Petersen. It's Freedom Friday. We're glad to have you here, Stephanie. We're going to have our guest, Daniella Pentsak, a little bit later in the programming here today. Ann Henry says, Tate talks so fast, I can't understand him.
That's probably part of what he's trying to do.
I do. Yeah, I do. I speak fairly fast myself typically when I'm not straight, when my voice isn't strained like it is right now.
I wonder if it's something he practiced doing. You know that woman who had that fake company, that blonde-haired lady, and it was all a sham, and she changed her voice to be like a man to get people to believe her better and respect her? Like, people are just so sneaky.
Yes. God, yeah. What was her name? The Theranos. Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah.
That was her name. Elizabeth Holmes, hi, I'm a tech woman in Silicon Valley, and we're going to change technology so that people can just do a drop of blood. And it was all an act.
She wore turtlenecks like Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, right. The Chinese got Kanye, says Comrade Yuri. Very funny.
Oh boy, he may have fled the country. I mean,
I don't think so. No.
Going to some island somewhere.
What was hilarious too was it over my Instagram the other day? It's like somebody was like, Kanye is healthier than he's ever been, and I was kind of like,
I really don't know how they can say that.
I'm not entirely sure.
He was back in the past.
I'm not. I think he was.
Really wasn't in tune.
I think he was healthier and happier when he was with Kim. I'm not gonna lie. He misses.
Together for 8 years.
Yeah, he misses his wife and kids for sure.
Yeah.
Comrade Yuri just joined us over on Twitch. Hey, thank you so much, Comrade. Thank you so much for following us over there. We appreciate you. Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes. Yes, JJJ. Thank you for that.
Kanye is almost turning into McAfee. I mean, do you know how many times John McAfee was missing and he was like on a boat in the middle of the ocean?
True, good point. But he was running not from a $2.8 million lawsuit.
He's running from a lot of things.
He was running from the IRS.
Yeah.
So he was running from a lot more than that. Boy, the chat is really lively today. Ann Henry says, I wonder if Candace Owens does that because she talks way fast too, although she generally just has a lot to say. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I feel like people do it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They develop certain habits just to get further in life.
I'm kind of the same way. I talk super fast if I don't watch it. That's what Elizabeth Press said as well. Hey, Elizabeth, by the way, thank you for the super chat during the break. We appreciate you very much.
I mean, I think a lot of people in power, I used to notice like a lot of people in leadership positions, they just talk so fast and in circles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's meant to confuse you and be like, okay, am I the one who's not understanding here?
Yeah, for sure. Like it could be like a tactic as well. But Joni Rankin says, hopefully West is in the hospital. Yeah, I hope so too, because he needs help, right?
I mean, with HIPAA laws, obviously that could be the case, and nobody would have to know that he's in the hospital. That would be completely private information, and that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we're going to get a little bit more information on Andrew Tate here soon. Our friend Daniella Pentsak is going to be joining us here in just a few minutes. She's going to give us a little bit of background on the arrest of Andrew Tate, and we're going to talk to her about the allegations of sex trafficking that have been leveled against him. So it's going to be, just a really good segment. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But until then, my voice is starting to go. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the biggest news stories of 2010. Because we were looking this up a little bit earlier. What were the biggest news stories? It's been a very turbulent year this year.
And it's amazing how many things I forget happened. I'm like, really? That happened this year? It feels like forever ago.
Like what?
Well, I know, obviously COVID-19 seems forever ago, but that's still an issue now.
Sure.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's still relevant here in 2022. Yes, it is.
Well, it's probably what we're suffering from right now, you and I. But Rothbardian messaged in, says, this isn't the first time the Tates were arrested in Romania. Some BS last time that was cleared up and they walked out. Well,
really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't hope that they fail or that they did anything wrong. I hope that they didn't do anything wrong, because you should never hope that somebody engaged in sex trafficking. I don't care if you don't like them. I don't hope that Greta Thunberg is secretly part of some criminal conspiracy to, like, to traffic children or anything like that, but it's,
I know she's passionate about the environment and all, but I don't know how far she's willing to take that.
Like, maybe she's like trafficking, sea turtles.
Oh gosh, sea turtles in her basement.
She's got
next to her recycled pizza boxes.
Exactly. I hope that she doesn't have endangered sea turtles, but if she does, then I hope she's brought to justice. But with Andrew Tate, it's quite possible that the arrests and the things like that are politically motivated. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said,
people don't like shiny things.
So yeah, no, for sure. So I tweeted this morning because I was just curious, because immediately as soon as Andrew Tate got arrested, people were defending him. And so I tweeted this. I said, what level of notoriety do I need that if I ever get arrested, my followers will immediately blame the deep state? Right. And so people are like, honestly, Austin, you're there already. I would 100% blame the deep state if you got arrested.
Oh, absolutely.
However, most of us think anyone who's not on the left will eventually be rounded up. So there's that. Dat B on Twitter says, in my opinion, it would be suspect as AF even now. You're just too straight-laced. And I don't mean that as an insult. I take it as an insult. Now, Stephanie,
yeah, you look innocent.
I do.
You have that baby face.
Stephanie knows I look innocent, but am I innocent, Stephanie?
Not completely. Not as innocent as me.
Nobody's as
I don't
innocent as
know.
you, Steph.
Do you think if I was arrested, people would fight for me? Would you all try to bail me out of jail?
Not if it was being arrested on Epstein's Island or something like that. I don't think so. She sells sea turtles by the shrinking shore, says Robbie Therman. Good. Well, thank you, Robbie. We appreciate you there for that. So somebody else tweeted, Austin, it depends on what you're arrested for. Illegal machine gun, he put illegal in quotes. Illegal machine gun manufacturing, believable.
Right.
Human trafficking, deep state. So
yeah.
So there you go. I appreciate that.
So it depends how extreme the claim is.
So from what I see, I said the responses made me believe that I would be extended the same courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm grateful for that. So if I did get arrested,
it.
people would say that it was, thank you, exactly. It would be, if I got arrested, people would assume it was part of the deep state.
And that's the thing too. I mean, during your campaign, somehow I trusted you so much as a politician. You were like the first politician, aside from Ron Paul, that I really trusted. I used to tell my family and friends, like, I know he's telling the truth. I know he's genuine. And they used to be like, how do you know that? It's just the way you talk. And you're just so real and human and relatable.
Rothbardian sent us a super chat for $2.99. Thank you, Rothbardian. Thank you. Appreciate that, sir. How have we been talking about Greta Thunberg this morning and we haven't even used my sound file for that yet?
How dare you?
Exactly. How dare you have not used the Greta Thunberg?
How dare you?
There we go. We've used it this morning.
How dare you not recycle pizza boxes?
Exactly. Andrew Tate and Greta and Romania are all trending this morning on Twitter. Cat Turd tweeted, I don't claim to know what's going on with the Andrew Tate situation. Nobody does. Why? Because all we're fed all day are lies. Just look at the BS they accused Trump of doing.
Yeah.
We'll see how it all shakes out.
All the stuff in Mar-a-Lago.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Ian Miles Chong says a pizza box didn't give Andrew Tate's location away. They knew where he lived and brought him into custody before. Their arrest was the result of an 8-month-long investigation that is continuing.
Mm-hmm.
The pizza box is a litmus test for your IQ. If you believe it, you failed.
Oh, so that's not true? Believed it?
Well, here's the thing. That's, Ian can be a jerk sometimes.
Oh.
But so it's possible that the pizza box was the note how they knew that he was in country.
Right.
It was an 8-month-long investigation.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the pizza box, it wasn't like it came out of nowhere. This investigation had been going on for quite some time.
Right.
JGJ asking a question with the super chats this morning. He says, "Oh, I might have."
Maybe that's how we're gonna find Kanye West.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna get pizza delivered.
JGJ says, "Yeah,
right. Kanye, go order pizza. We want to find you."
Yeah, for sure. JGJ, thanks for the super chat. He sent us a couple of bucks. We appreciate that very much because we won't be able to monetize this video any other way.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about news stories of 2022.
We're not going to get there right now, unfortunately, because of the time.
And
we're going to have to go get Daniella Pentsak.
It's just going by so fast.
Oh, for sure, we're having fun.
I know.
So some people are genuine when they speak and how they carry themselves, says A.N. Henry. That's true. Somebody says, JGJ asks, do you still hate Hawley or could you ally with him? I don't think I ever hated Josh Hawley, but I don't know. I just, the thing about Josh Hawley is that, if you're a fiscal conservative, then you're going to always kind of be like, because
right.
he voted to spend more money than Bernie Sanders.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
You're not seeing eye to eye. That's just how it is.
Here's the thing. Where I think Hawley is actually doing a terrific job is he has been doing questioning of Joe Biden's appointments.
Okay.
And he roasts them. I mean,
he's doing some good things.
Yeah, he does a terrific job at that. So, I give credit where it's due. I think Josh Hawley's done a great job in a lot of ways and opposing the money being spent to Ukraine and all that and stuff. So actually, there's a reason to praise Josh Hawley. But
I personally, as a volunteer for your campaign, I used to tweet a lot of negative things about Josh Hawley. So I don't even know how he likes me.
He probably doesn't even know he
He used to post ladders and tag Josh Hawley like every day.
My guess is that he has forgotten that we even exist.
I know.
So it doesn't matter, but
we're insignificant.
For sure. We're going to go get Daniella Pentsak, and we're going to get her on the show.
Oh.
Yeah. And we're going to talk to her. She's going to give us a little more background on the Andrew Tate arrest.
Yeah, I hope to learn more.
Yep, we're going to go get her. We'll be right back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Were you exposed to hazardous materials while serving in the military and have an illness or condition as a result?
If so, you may be eligible for VA benefits and services. Whether you need health care or want to file a disability compensation claim related to military exposures, VA is here to help. Visit va.gov/military-exposures to learn more and apply today.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
If I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors, what would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
We wish you a freedom Christmas. We wish you a freedom Christmas. We wish you a freedom Christmas and a liberty New Year. Socialists and commies may try to convince you that the holiday's all about free stuff. But let's be honest, we all know whose wallet Santa's gifts are coming out of. There ain't no such thing as a free stocking. Santa is the only guy with a big white beard promising free stuff that we want anything to do with this holiday. And if you don't believe, you don't receive. It's a capitalist, consumerist holiday, and it's time for a Santa-sized stimulus. Get your free market merch at the AP for Liberty shop today and stuff your socialist sisters' stockings full of capitalist cheer. Ho, 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 ho! Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. All right, well, it's the topic that's been blowing up the chat this morning. Andrew Tate and his brother arrested in Romania of allegations of sex trafficking. Here to break down the story with a little bit more detail is a field representative from Turning Point USA, making her debut appearance on the show, Daniella Pentsak. Let's welcome her to the show. Good morning, Daniella. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. About Andrew Tate. You know, he's quite the personality, so just gonna get into it. I don't know. I think the jokes kind of write themselves with the situation in terms of how he was caught. You have this grown man who's looking for a little bit of publicity on Twitter, I guess, because I know he just recently got back on Twitter. Once again, and he was looking for a little publicity, so he tries to get some attention from an autistic climate change activist. So I guess what happened was that he got a little bit more publicity than what he had bargained for. So what happened is, what I understand, is that in a response to Greta Thunberg, he sent a video of himself with a pizza box, and as you guys were talking about, the pizza box kind of gave out his location, and so people cross-referenced it, and it didn't help that the tweets got a lot of attention, and so I guess what ended up happening is that he and his brother got raided, and they were being suspect of human trafficking. But before I share my opinion on this, I just want to say, and as you guys have already said, this man, just out of principle, he is innocent until proven guilty. So, I'm not going to sit here and just make claims that this man truly is guilty of these crimes or these charges. But with that out of the way, I see a lot of people coming out of the woodwork trying to defend this man, presumably as fans. And, with the whole cult of personality thing, I can understand why people may feel obligated to do that for him, but this is not the man I think that people should be doing this for. If you look at his history, he doesn't have the best history with, let's just say, respecting and following the law. We're talking about a man who himself said that he specifically moved to Romania because he wanted to escape a harsh judicial system. He actually said that he moved to Romania to escape parts of the law. So, just with that in place, I don't think he has the best track record. Additionally, as someone in the chat said earlier, he has been part of an ongoing investigation since April of 2022 of this year, still technically, for trafficking. And he had two women living with him in their quarters. Presumably they were hostages, and admittedly, him and his brother were later released of these charges, but the investigation was ongoing, and it did take quite a bit of time to investigate that. And so, with just a man with this context and this history and this background of not really having the best relationship with the law in the country that he lives in, I'm just a little bit wary of the people that are coming out of the woodwork and trying to defend him.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, I'm speaking to Daniella Pentsak. She's a field representative for Turning Point USA. We're also still joined in studio by my wife, Stephanie Petersen. We're discussing the arrest of Andrew Tate and his brother in Romania yesterday on allegations of human trafficking. So I kind of take for granted that people pay as close attention to internet influencers as I do, Daniella. And so, if I were to bring up Andrew Tate in conversation with what you might call normies, I think most people who don't live their life online probably don't know who Andrew Tate is. It doesn't.
Like I didn't know him.
Yeah, so like my wife, she doesn't live her life online, so she didn't know who he was. I have had to explain to people who Andrew Tate is in the last few weeks. So what do we know about Andrew Tate? Really, who is this guy? All of these allegations, these recent allegations. What do we know about his background? Tell us who this guy is.
Yeah, so he is you could call him a social media personality. I do know that he was a kickboxer for quite some time, and that's how he kind of started his career that way, and he got some notoriety that way. And then later on, he became more of like a social media personality through using social media early on, like Twitter, TikTok. I believe he had a Twitch channel as well at some point. He kind of like played up this character, and he was a very abrasive character. He was known for saying a lot of misogynistic comments about, women, and that's kind of like what got him deplatformed from these social media platforms like Twitter. I know he was banned, I believe, off Twitter, YouTube, Instagram for some time. I do believe he's back though, I think. But so he has a really colorful history of saying quite the few negative things, and you guys have talked about that on this show already. But he also has his own website. I was actually on there last night just looking at it, and he sells quite a few things. I mean, he sells vitamins, he sells a self-help program, and I would kind of say that yeah, they're called the 41 tenets of Tateism, which he doesn't even himself follow because one of them is following the law and being an upstanding citizen. So yeah, he did kind of over the years mold this like cult of personality on social media, and I understand he's playing up a character. I know that he's trying to be this larger than life character, and that people will naturally gravitate towards that, especially young men in this day and age. So again, I can understand why people are fans of him, but I wouldn't say he's the best role model. I would compare him to someone like Jordan Peterson a little bit, but I don't know, a more edgy version of someone like Jordan Peterson. He's like this role model for young men, and he garnered this following from that. And I know that he was part of a few scandals in the past as well. He had this webcam situation going on where he had about 75 women as part of this like a webcam service. And he came out, admitted that this was a scam. So what they were doing is they were having these women on webcams, and they were selling these sob stories, and people would donate money to them. And Andrew came out saying that was all a scam. All the stories were fake. They're trying to he's trying to have these girls have parasocial relationship with these young men online, and all the stories they said were fake. So this man doesn't also have the best reputation when it comes to selling services and products. But yeah, like I had mentioned, he was previously a kickboxer, and over the years he had created this online persona on various platforms. He was deplatformed, of course, due to his comments, and he was recently platformed again on Twitter with Elon Musk taking over, and this is where we are again. He got arrested, and he has a colorful history with the Romanian law when it comes to human trafficking.
What do you think, Steph?
Wow. I mean, yeah, you definitely said some interesting things there about why he moved to Romania.
Yeah, that I
he
didn't
liked
know.
the laws there better.
Yeah, so can you expand on that? I mean, he moved to Romania specifically to evade the criminal justice system of the United States. I mean,
I don't even know where he lived before because he's British, right?
he's British,
And
yeah.
American.
He was on the Big Brother television show, I think, for a
right.
while.
So I wonder where his citizenship actually is.
And I wonder why what it was specifically about the American criminal justice system or the UK criminal justice system that would make him want to
Right.
to move to Romania, and I wonder what it is about the Romanian judge. Apparently,
Exceptions for
apparently it didn't. I
pornography.
mean, apparently it didn't work because he got arrested in Romania for allegations of human trafficking.
Maybe he
So
needs to find another country that has better laws.
for sure, we got to give a big, huge shout out, by the way, to Andy Opperman, who just donated $50 on the super chat. That's a big one, Steph. We'll give him 2 rounds of applause on that one. Thank you for that. We appreciate you very much for supporting the Wake Up America show. So, Daniela, what else? Is there anything else that we should need to know about Andrew Tate as a person? Because I mean, that was fairly thorough. But is there anything that you left out?
Well, I do want to comment on what you guys were asking about him saying what he said about moving to Romania. So previously he did live in the UK, and I don't remember the quote verbatim, but I do remember that he did say that he had wanted to move to Romania for multiple reasons. One of those reasons was that he does not like Western society, as what he said. He said it's too overbearing. People, especially women in Western societies, aren't the same as they are, in Eastern Europe, apparently. So that's one reason why he said he moved. But one of the major reasons that really stood out to me was that he said that that for things like minor infractions such as speeding and all that, that societies like in Romania, they're much more they're much more forgiving on, and that's one of the reasons why he moved there. I just thought that was interesting because, as a man who just came out and said that he's trying to evade certain parts of the law and that's why he moved to a country, that's one of his primary reasons. I just thought was really funny, considering this entire situation. But yeah, he
wants to move to a
like
place that doesn't respect women as much. Less Western.
Exactly. And I don't want to like come out and say that because I'm trying to be like careful, but that's the first thing that naturally comes to mind, right? Is that, he's trying to go to a country where they're much more easy on the law when it comes to, and with the man was saying what he said is about women. He's very well known about what he says about women, and he moves to a country like that, and I just think this entire situation just kind of, if you look at the bigger picture of who he is as a person, I am more willing to believe that he is guilty of these crimes. I'm not saying he is, but if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, maybe it's a duck. I'm just putting that out there.
Pretty good. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, we are speaking to Daniella Pentsak. She is a field representative at Turning Point USA. And of course, my lovely wife, Stephanie Petersen, is in studio with us as well. We're talking about the arrest of Andrew Tate yesterday in Romania. Comes on the heels of a dust-up that he was involved in online with Greta Thunberg.
How dare you!
Most of you remember Greta Thunberg as the climate change activist who made waves for criticizing the world for their climate policies. And she's now out there online celebrating Andrew Tate's arrest, and a lot of people are dogpiling on, but plenty of people are supporting Andrew Tate as well. I think, taking a wait and see attitude about this is probably the most wise approach, just because, there have been a lot of stories where people have had egg on their faces because they came out and they dogpiled on somebody. Perfect example was Nicholas Sandmann. You probably remember, Daniela, where, initially the reports were that, Nicholas Sandmann was getting in this Native American guy's face and harassing him, wearing the MAGA hat, but the reality was quite the opposite. So, my opinion on this is that, I probably fall in line with you, Daniela, on this one, because like you say, if you're running webcam sites, where you're running, those kinds of things, you're going
Right,
to
he's
give
already dabbling in those areas.
right. He's dabbling in those areas. It's the kind of thing that, like, what's interesting is that there's this kind of like the right move, the movement, I guess, of the right is kind of two minds on this one, where a lot of the right wingers who are supporting him are the type of people who, if anybody was accused of human trafficking, they would throw them under the bus immediately. So I just wonder why Andrew Tate sort of gets an exception to that rule, right? Where it's like, there's all this outrage against Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein Island is literally trending right now on Twitter. But with Andrew Tate, they want to give there are all these people who want to give him the benefit of the doubt, whereas people like myself are kind of like, not quite so much. Isn't that kind of fascinating though, Daniela, that like the right is, it really does kind of boil down to tribalism to a certain extent. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. He's being defended by, like I said, presumably his followers, and just because he's the guy who's on the right side, he's on their side of the political spectrum or their ideological spectrum, and that's why they're defending him. And I do see a lot of people say that with the whole Epstein list situation, and you know, great, I'm glad that's getting attention. I think that deserves just as much as attention as this, but I still fail to see how that still relates to what Andrew Tate is doing in Romania. So I just feel like people are throwing out these red herrings just to distract and divert attention from the issue that is at hand. And a lot of people are all of a sudden saying that everyone's interested in human trafficking all over again. And this is, and they're all trying to divert attention. I think that the Epstein situation, human trafficking topic in general, of course, it all deserves a lot of scrutiny and attention. But right now, what's at hand is Andrew Tate, and that's what we're all talking about. That's the guy that was just arrested, and I think that's deserving of some scrutiny in and of itself. But yeah, he has devised this cult of personality, and with every person that has a cult of personality, they're going to have defenders. They're going to have people that are just going to defend them no matter what they say and say it's part of a deep state situation. So.
Right, for sure. Ann Henry over on the chat says that I've started to care less and less about what side people are on. You can still be a POS and be on the right. I think that that's absolutely true. All right, well, Daniella, is there anything else that you think that our listeners should know before we let you go?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, I know that Andrew Tate is a role model for a lot of young men. And but I think that in this day and age, a lot of young men and whoever it is that look up to him, they do need that role model. But I just think we need to be a little bit more picky about who the role model should be. Like I had said before, Andrew Tate, questionable character. There are a lot more better role models out there for young men to promote masculinity in this day and age, and the whole like egocentric approach to it is what Andrew Tate has been doing just doesn't work. And I just think we need to be a little bit more conscious of who we have as our role models.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah, Daniella, who do you look up to? Is there anybody that you particularly admire?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Well, as a Turning Point employee, I would say yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, well, he's my boss, so but no, but I really do think that, Charlie Kirk is a good man to look up to. On the right in particular, I do also very much look up to people like Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, the greats. But yeah, no, Jordan Peterson is another one I take a lot of interest in. But so I think there are a lot more people with, a more rich character to look up to than people like Andrew Tate.
Well, that's interesting, Daniela, because I have to say, I know that Charlie Kirk gets a lot of trash talk from people on the right, but I agree with you. I really like Charlie Kirk, and I think that he does a very good job, and I think he's a warrior, and I think he's definitely somebody to be looked up to and admired. He's younger than me,
Wow.
but I still look up to him. I think he does a great job. And Daniela, I think you did a great job here today for your first time on the show. I think you did a terrific job.
You did a very thorough analysis.
Thank you.
You really helped us learn a lot about
Yeah,
the
that was
situation.
an awesome analysis. I got to say, I think the chat needs to give us all a round of applause as well. Daniella Pentsak, thank you very much for your time today. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll have you back again real soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. What did you think of Daniella Pentsak? Send us a text at
She
573.
really knew her stuff.
Yeah, she did. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Those Turning Point kids, man, they are
Prepare them for professionalism.
wicked smart.
Like those nice clothes.
Wicked smart.
College students.
Yeah.
They look like they're ready for a job interview all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Quest Fanning over there in the live stream says Jordan Peterson has been saying some odd things lately. Rare Chameleon, boy, they're hopping on Jordan Peterson, saying he's been. Yeah, she says that he's been kind of whiny lately this time.
A lot of people look up to him, especially about this new personality test that he came out with. People are all like, "Oh my gosh, I want to learn about myself."
Yeah, yeah.
He's looked at as an expert.
There are few, I have very few heroes in my life.
Same.
There are some people that I look up to. Judge Knapp, obviously is one of them. But one of the characters that I've followed for years that I've always admired is Michael Shermer. And
I don't really know him.
I just got a copy of his book, his newest book, Conspiracy.
Okay.
And it's so far I'm really excited to read it. And I haven't read any of it yet. But I will.
When you were asking that question about role models, I honestly blanked. The only role model I've ever had throughout most of my life is Hillary Duff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think she's a great mom. She's a good role model for women. She's not all about the boobs and
for sure.
Sharing herself online.
Yeah, over in the live stream, Roth Barty, and he's not happy. He says, I've never heard any cogent arguments against what Andrew Tate talks about and teaches. Most are strawman arguments. I think probably the best argument, against Andrew Tate is the whole running a webcam hosting girl services and things.
Right.
And again, I'm a libertarian, so I think that should be legal and it's fine, but it doesn't mean
there's a market for it,
right.
which there is.
And as long as you're not trafficking people, and as long as you're not exploiting women, then I think that should be legal and allowed.
Right.
But I'm not going to look up to somebody like that.
Yes.
I'm not going to admire somebody like that. You can speak all the truth that you want in the world, but if your behavior is something that I find to be exploitative to other people, just because it should be legal doesn't mean it's moral.
Exactly.
And just because something is immoral doesn't mean it should be illegal. But you know what? Most people don't agree with that, and that's why we have big government. All right, we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we get back, I guess we'll say goodbye.
Oh my gosh, it's already time.
It's time to celebrate.
Wow.
It's time.
Better put my hat back.
Yeah, we'll celebrate the new year. We'll be back with more on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Hello, my name is Kelvin. Welcome to Frenchy Bush. This is my Didi's website. Now I've decided to speak to you with my real voice for the first time ever to tell you about how cool Frenchy Bush is. But I've decided that this is the perfect opportunity to share with you. Frenchy Bush is a good website. You should follow us on socials. If you like Frenchies or any kind of bulldogs, me and my new brother George are going to try to make your life more fun.
Hello, I'm George. My neck isn't really thick yet, but it will be. We are so glad you're here. Please ignore my floating eyeball. It helps me spot predators who might be approaching from the sides.
Didi made Frenchy bullshit to review things that he uses on me and my brother to tell you if it's good or bullshit. Take this collar, for example. Didi really likes it. Didi said it's really handy because us Frenchies got thick necks. Need something really tough. People think Frenchies are little, but if you look at us from below, you can see we are really pretty buff. Beefcake. Yes. Look at my creamy thighs and chest. Yes. You like that?
Big brother, please focus.
Frenchy Bush. Please follow us for more great content and read the Frenchy Bush blog for more fun and cool stuff.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every dollar we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Gideon's Promise trains, mentors, and supports public defenders.
There are a lot of people who say that they would not still be public defenders, but for Gideon's Promise.
It's fueled me to continue on in this fight.
Gideon's Promise has changed the face of public defense.
People see us as troublemakers.
Good trouble only.
We don't make it easy. It should not be easy to take away someone's liberty.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume again.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
You have any real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Make no mistake, reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Hello, good morning. I'm Austin Petersen, Rise and Freedom. It's time for the Wake Up America show, the final segment. It's been a great show today. Stephanie Petersen has been here with us.
Yes, we've learned a lot about Andrew Tate today.
What did you think about Daniella Pentsak, her first appearance on the show?
She was so informed. She knows her stuff so well. I mean, I think she did a great character analysis, honestly.
Yeah, that was... I thought she did terrific. She gave us good background on Tate.
It's like we were playing a game of Clue.
Yeah.
You were looking for all the clues and seeing if they add up.
Yep, for sure. All right, now I know that the chat and everybody's in here talking about Andrew Tate and all the masculinity and who's a good role model, who's a bad role model. But since it's the last segment before we go off for the new year, let's just change the subject for a few minutes. Talk about the biggest stories of 2022.
Yes.
You had forgotten that the Will Smith Chris Rock slap.
I did, because that seemed like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember his wife. He was making fun of his wife.
Yeah.
Because of her hair.
Right.
She has alopecia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he compared her to G.I. Jane.
Yeah, she's bald.
That's right.
So that was one of the bigger stories this year.
Protecting his woman, I get it.
Yeah. Do you remember? Does anybody remember the monkeypox outbreak?
Yes, and
that was this year.
But he was warning people like, don't have sex.
Don't have boo-boo sex.
Right.
Whatever you call it.
Where did it go? Do we
Yep.
still have monkeypox around? I don't know.
The Uvalde, Texas shooting. The
Yeah.
Robb Elementary School massacre that
There
happened.
was a St. Louis.
There was
school
one here in
shooting
St. Louis as well. Yeah.
Yes.
The Texas 19 students and 2 teachers were killed at Robb Elementary School back in May. Matt Unruh's just signed up for another month. He says a free milestone chat. Oh, wait a minute.
What is this?
Okay, so here's the thing. Now he gets a special little. This is kind of cool. So now, if you have been a monthly subscriber of the Wake Up America show, then for the second month, then you get a new tag.
Oh.
So Matt Unruh, I think, is the only one right now who is no longer a Freedom Ninja with a Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
So when you're in the chat over on YouTube, you can see next to people's names if they're subscribers, if they have a little Statue of Liberty next to their name. But
Yes.
Matt Unruh has now got gold bars next to his name.
Oh, very cool. Just like LearAustin.com.
Yes.
Bars that you can get.
Exactly. So Matt Unruh is now a gold libertarian.
Nice.
And every month that people resubscribe, they get new ones. I think it's like 3 months, and then it's like 5 months, and
so
then 6 months, and then a year. You get different tags. So Matt Unruh. Oh, well, here's one of your last super chats the year he just sent us. Thank you, Matt.
Oh my gosh. You all are so generous.
Have a great New Year's Eve. Let's shut the door in 2022. Yeah, there was a lot to be happy for and a lot to be, sad about. And we lost a lot of relatives and people that we love this year.
Wow. That was a year of medical issues for some.
I guess it was the year that I finally got COVID, because whatever I got right now.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Need
maybe.
to get you tested.
I don't know when I get tested. I just want to die in peace. Oh gosh.
Then I guess I'll have to run the show if you die.
Exactly. Y'all want Stephanie to
It'll
take
be
over?
the Stephanie show.
Yes.
Me and George and Kelvin.
Exactly.
It'll be me and 2 dogs on
right,
a show.
Right. Only like Jamie Marie Pope would be out there, be like,
Oh God!
No,
God, please, no!
I don't blame her.
yeah, no, for sure. The January 6th committee, that was a year.
It's been over talked about for sure.
Yeah, for sure. What about the gas prices hitting $5 again?
Yeah, it's
That was a bad
amazing
one.
how easily we forget that, because now gas prices are in the $2. I got it for $2.39 in Peculiar, and now around here it's like $2.69. I know Missouri is different than other states. Obviously, California is probably still at $4, and they're probably happy about that. Who knows?
For sure, for sure. Matt Unruh's over there taking a bow with his new gold. I love the gold next to his name. That's really awesome. Unfortunately, you can't see it on the live chat on the actual stream. So in order to see it, you have to be on YouTube. But yeah. So what was so Ann Henry was like, she says, I'd send you guys super chat if I wasn't a broke bee. It's no worries, honey.
Hey,
We
you
love
can still be here. You can still party with us.
exactly. We love even if you can't afford to support the show financially, just by watching us, you're supporting us.
Right. This isn't a scheme
Exactly.
like a lot of other YouTubers.
Exactly. People like Andy Opperman have stepped up in a big way. He gave us a $50 super chat earlier today, and that goes,
Yeah,
that's
that is huge.
it's going to go a long way to replacing some of the equipment that we lost, because I had to buy a whole bunch of new adapters and stuff for the set.
Absolutely. Yeah, the very first ring light that I ever bought for my YouTube channel, I actually gave to you, and that's one of the ones that's broken. So I'm kind of personally heartbroken.
Yeah, I did get I did get a new light though, which was nice, and I did get it at a nice little discount. So actually, if you can see check this purple. See how the wall is all purple back here, right there, like this. All right, so that's my new light.
So cool. I love the neon.
It's pretty awesome. So the neon purple over there kind of goes with the theme of the show. You can text us at 573-319-1586. Matt Unruh, he loves his gold bars next to him. So yeah, don't forget to resubscribe, because you get the gold bars if you continue to be a monthly subscriber to the channel.
Okay.
And it's like $2.99 a month. And then you can also use like the emojis and things like that. So the subscribers, if you have a Statue of Liberty next to your name, you're like a 1 month subscriber. 2 months is the gold bars. So looks like we're already in our second month of the memberships. So lots of fun. We got to go, Steffi.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost 9.
Watch. Jeez.
I know.
Yeah, the minutes are just going fast. Kind of like New Year's. I feel like the last hour of New Year's Eve, it goes by so fast, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we're already counting down.
Litu, who is the first time we've seen him over there in the chat, says, are the Tates free now? They're supposedly free now. Yeah, I think they were being held for 24 hours.
Daniella said they are free.
Yeah. So they were held for 24 hours. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Investigation continues. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Tolly says she actually likes the home setup even better than the others.
I like it better too. I tell Austin it's a really nice life being here all cozy.
And me being, I know it is. The only thing that sucked is that I've been sick this week. God, if only.
Sleep in a little bit till 5 a.m. instead of 4.
Isn't that nice? Getting to sleep in till 5 a.m., sleeping in until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That's right, for sure. Yep, for sure. All right, well, we got to go. Thank you so much for your support of us this year. Thank you for the super chats. Goes a long way to help us to support the channel, and we're grateful for you. Maybe this weekend, introduce somebody else to the show. Talk about it. Tell somebody
at your New Year's party.
Yeah, tell somebody, say, hey, listen, you ought to join us in the morning show. It's a great way to, if you're getting ready for school. Typically, we don't talk about sex trafficking, pedos, and there's not
usually it's family friendly stuff.
Yeah, 95 to 98% of the time it's family friendly. So introduce it to somebody and say, hey, listen, it's a great show to turn on in the morning to listen to while you're getting kids ready for school, or what you have. All right.
I guess I need to blow my blower.
Yeah, here we go.
I was worried the dogs would get riled up from that.
Oh, they did. They're coming over.
Oh, no.
Right, we gotta go. We'll see you next week, Monday, on the Wake Up.
See you next year.
We'll see you. Oh God, Steffi made the joke. Okay.
The joke used to really confuse me. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm going to see you in a few days.
Yes, we'll see you next year on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Bye, guys.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Your printing company stinks. They charge you too much money and they don't love America enough. We've got the solution. Patriot Printing USA. Whether you're running for office, saving souls, or just need business cards that will get you the new job you've been looking for, Patriot Printing USA has got you covered with the best prices around. Palm cards, brochures, bumper stickers, door hangers, you name it, we've got it. PatriotPrintingUSA.com. That's PatriotPrintingUSA.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.